It's Milwaukee backwards. That way I know whether or not I got to go ahead and swap this. We'll see if they fixed it or not. Mirrored, or just say stuff's backwards. I never understand if people mean mirrored or not. Because it's always shows up backwards to me. I'm just seeing if it's flipping it for you guys. And then if it's not flipping it, I'll swap it around. What's up, TPG? Is the Milwaukee backwards on my hat? Or are you guys seeing it straight? What's up, Abraham? Yes, it's backwards. All right, I'll swap it around this other way. I don't like doing it this way as much, but what's up, Contreras? Turn this volume down. I'm gonna set my iPad up here too and see if I can watch the chat. Plus, I didn't charge my chat phone, so I got to do that too. And I see y'all tried to put me in a comment hole from the get-go. What's up, Steve Rivera, TPG, Ray's Apartment Maintenance, Andrew Sev, White, the pilot's in here, Contreras, Someway, Jeff Cole, Leonard, Quiet Vibes, Fix It With Me. Matt said I missed the pregame. Yeah, y'all already put me in a comment hole to start with. I didn't even have to wait for this one. What's up, Terry Burton? So I had a few things that I got in that was 3D printed that I was going to, just for giggles, show you guys. And then I thought we'd just talk. I did get, Matt HMN's been telling me to get some Skechers slip-ins for a long time. So I ordered me a pair of Skechers slip-ins. Get to try those out. And then they had these, which are pretty ugly, but these were on sale for like $30. So these are going to go inside my booties. And then I'll take the pair out of my booties and use those. But these are pretty nice. You just step right in them, which I like Skechers shoes. That's pretty much this kind of shoes is what I wear all the time. We buried you with the excavator. You're superfluous now. I saw somebody said I was flipping you off on my thumbnail. He's the only one that caught that. So, let me see. I'm actually going to skip this so I can maybe see myself. Let me get up to live. I'm going to try to do it so that I can see remotely what's in the camera. Again, I hate that they made it to where I can't use the front-facing camera. Makes this an ordeal. But Print 3D inserts. I've got stuff from him before. It's not playing now. Turn my volume down. He's the one that sent me. I've got one of these on one of my drawers already, and he already had this, and he sent me this for free. I ordered some stuff from him a long time ago. I think my very first Etsy video, I ordered some stuff from him, and then he found out that I was the one who ordered some stuff, and I talked about him in a review, and he sent me this just kind of as a gift. Well, I wanted a couple more of those, so I emailed him asking if he could make me a couple more of them, and me paying for them. And then while I had him making some stuff, I asked him if he could make me, I was wanting some little labels for my Klein ET450 where I've got this in there and some foam and stuff. But I couldn't really figure out a way to word it how I wanted it. So I just asked him, I said, can you make me a Klein Tools like ET450 tag for this? And then he gave me like 4 options. I said, I don't know, you do this for, you're the one that makes them. You can kind of give me an idea what you think would look the best. So he sent me 4 options. I thought this one looked the best. One of them was orange with black letters and then all those things. But he ended up doing 3 colors for me. So I'm going to put them on there tonight. But these end up looking pretty nice on drawers. They're really easy to put on. So if you've got pack out drawers and you want to get labels made for what's in them, like I didn't necessarily want to do that, but I don't really care about that. But all you got to do is take a screwdriver. I don't know if one of these will get in there or not. Probably need a little thin one. And pop these out, and you can swap them out. So like if you've got caulking or whatever, if you want to make a tag that says whatever instead of doing the drawer handles, and then these just snap in there. you got to put this end in first, actually. So that ends up looking pretty good, I think. All kinds of stuff out there for 3D printing. It really gets crazy if you start looking at it, what all you can do. So what's the craziest thing that you guys have 3D printed? I mean, labels and stuff, people have been making them for a long time. Those are certified dad shoes. Yeah, these are going to end up going in the in my Muddy Buddies, because I've got a pair. I normally wear this style. These are the ones that are wore out. Like, I just wear these around the house. I've got a pair of these in my Muddy Buddies right now, so I'm gonna take those out and swap them with these. That way, these would be my booty shoes, and then these leather ones are ones that I'll just wear all the time. But the soles and stuff on the inside of these are actually pretty nice. The black stands out. I need to check my pack out. I didn't know they had those labels like that. Yeah, that's where this label right here was the one that came off of my drawer whenever I put that one on. But that was pretty sweet whenever he sent that to me. And it just made it easier for me because, you know, he already made one. Because most places, whenever you go to order something, they might give you the option of one color or something like that. But I was able to just be able to do that. I have custom labels for my pack out, aka masking tape and a marker. I 3D printed a bit. This is kind of why I don't want to get into 3D printing, because if I did, I'd spend all kinds of time just making weird crap that I'd end up spending a lot of money on that filament or whatever it is. I just pay somebody because it's worth my time to have somebody else do it. These things were actually a little bit harder to get off than what I expected, the original ones, but it's actually pretty simple to get it going, like once you get it off. But they were a little bit harder to get off than what I thought. I've never changed out any of these before. I've only done like the stuff that just clips in. But all you do is spread that out to get it back inside of there. And then you just take this, slide it in here, and put the little pin back in there. I don't know if I'm gonna have to hammer this. Again, I've never done these before. I don't know if it matters what side. One of the sides of this pin kind of has some knurling or whatever it is you want to call that. It might matter. Yeah, it goes in a certain side. Then after that, you just snap it up in here, and it should go right up in there, possibly. And again, I can't see you, so I don't know if it's showing up very well or not. Yeah. The hardest part's getting, you got to get this little tab past this little nub right here with the screwdriver, but there's not a lot of room in there. But remember the plastic embossing tape labelers. Yeah, I still have I never bought like any of the real fancy ones. I've got like a Dymo. I still make those. I can't remember honestly. That I use them sometimes for my, like I've got some over here on my other boxes, and I would always put them on there like that's grid sealing, but I'd always take shipping tape and go over top of them because those things just fall off like in no time. Man, some of these are hard to spread. Man, I'm dropping everything. So then, I do like the idea of this. Like, if I had a 3D printer, I'd probably do a lot more of these because it makes it nice when you're looking at it to be able to have the Klein ET 450 on there. Let me get back live again. It's got me on a delay down there. Looks pretty good though. I did pick up today. A lot of people have been asking me if I was going to buy this or not, and now it's on that buy more, save more. So I ended up getting this for $138. Got this and put 2 of the impacts in my cart and ended up returning those. So I ended up getting the M12, the new SDS. I just got that today, and I've got a job coming up where, let me see if I can. That's the main reason why I went ahead and got it. I've got, let's see if I'm back up over here. I've got all this black PVC board right here that I'm putting up as fascia on a block service building on the back side where the flat roof comes to it. The board that's up there is all rotted out. So I suggested to him using black PVC board, and then they'll never have to do anything with it again. So I've got the black board and the black tap cons. So that I'll be able to use that. I was just going to use my regular M12 one, but I'll be able to use that one and try it out whenever I do this job. I'm waiting for the weather to get a little bit better. It's been pretty cold. Then I got a job coming up of door locks galore. I don't know if that's in the picture. Let's see. Not really. Bukus and bukus of doorknobs, and I'm still waiting on all the keypads to come in. I got more there, so I got that coming up. Oh man, this box is about broke. Get in there. Come on. My Menard sells that black PVC board. That's pretty nice. I've only seen white everywhere, so that's kind of new. Let me check up with the chat. Dymo label makers. House of Tools has 2 different Klein clocks. Yeah, they had that one, and I think maybe is the other one got American flag. Yeah, that's what he says on there. Yeah, I saw that one. I like the black better, so that's why I went with that one. Not the Dymo, the one with the rotary wheel and the squeeze handle. Yeah, I remember that one too some way. And it makes like the embossed like a deal on it. SDS with chipping. It's tiny. Good price on the SDS. I mostly like it. The chipping's a bonus, but to be honest with you, it will be. I'll go ahead and get out of the box. The belt hook on it, because that's something that's been missing on my other one, because I'm usually working with it off of a ladder and there's nowhere to hook it on. So I'll be glad to have that more than anything. I mean, I'll use the chipping probably occasionally, but I just literally went and picked this up today. Yeah, it's pretty nice. The size wise. I mean, again, imagine if you're putting in tap cons and stuff like that, carrying this with you instead of, you know, a big M18 SDS. But this right here, this would be nice. The other, my M12 one that I've got now doesn't have this, and it doesn't have the chisel feature. So, or the anti-vibration, and you know, several little nice features. It doesn't have the lights up here like this. It's got 3 lights there on the front too. But I'll be able to sell my old one. I've got it's the fuel version. It's the one right before this one. I'll be able to sell it and make probably most of my money of this one, so where I won't end up paying that much money for this at all. What's up, apartment maintenance couple? The M12 is weaker than my DeWalt XR, but it's a lot smaller. Yeah, it's by far, like I said, if I'd recommend the M12 one all day long for people who are going to put in tap cons, concrete anchors, or just drill holes for plastic anchors or, other anchors if you're putting in unistrut or something like that. And again, working off of a ladder, super nice. Unbox, unbox, unbox. Just nobody used the L words or Little Debbie peanut butter cream pies. Yeah, that wasn't that wasn't a drawer in my garage. I got that picture off of Facebook or something like that. It's pretty nice though. And it did have I didn't even think it had the peanut butter cream pies in it, but it did. It was over on the left-hand side towards the middle. I thought that those were something else, but whenever I zoomed in, those were peanut butter cream pies. Something else. Let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, I was going to see what all jobs y'all are doing. So this week I'm finishing up the recruiting office phase 3. So whenever we're done with this phase, we're done. So basically, the Marines were in an area, and then we've taken this extra area they had and the Air Force area. The Air Force, Marines, and the Navy are all in this one, and then the Army's in a total different building. But we've been taking the old Air Force area and this extra area to make one big Marine area. And then we went in. So first we remodeled the area that had nothing in it. That was just a big area. Moved the Marines in there. Remodeled the Marine area for the Air Force. Then the Air Force moved out of the Air Force area into what is now their area that was the Marine area. And now the Air Force area is going to get turned into part of the new Marine area and some storage space and stuff like that. So that's the last phase. So I'll finally be done with that job before too long. We just finished the metal framing and hanging the doors and stuff today, and gonna go pick up drywall tomorrow. So I got that going on. They're hanging drywall in the quadplex apartments that me and my buddy's building. So they'll be doing that for a while and then finishing. I bet the finishing is probably going to take a while because it's pretty cold. It's starting to get cold again here. I think it's supposed to get down to like 17 tonight. So it means the mud ain't going to dry very fast. And then I went and I've got that job with the PVC fascia. I got to go hang a TV and then also run an outlet from below it up and put in an outlet box. I've got some rotted subfloor at somebody's house I got to go cut out and replace. I've got all those doorknobs and stuff. I've got a doorknob on a storm door that's broken. I went and looked at an attic step replacement today, but I think it was one of those where they posted on Facebook about it and somebody gave them my number that saw it on Facebook. But that means they got 15 other people giving them prices. So I'm sure I'm too high. But that's because I don't put in attic steps without 2 people, which means I'm going to have to pay a helper to come with me. And I pay my helper the same as I pay myself. So I can't really compete with people who pay somebody nothing. Let's see. I'm an oatmeal cream pie guy. That's what Miss Maintenance likes those the most too. But you can't really heat up the oatmeal cream pies because the cream in the middle just like disappears. It like goes away 100%. Now you can heat up the peanut butter cream pies and they're good. Are we eating from the snack drawer? Wacky Wayland said. No. Still trying to lose some weight. Super cool SDS. Terminator the Tool Man's in here. Get it now, watch cheap. I'm pondering on, now that I figured out the way to do this. I really want the fuel bandsaw too, because originally I was going to buy that and go ahead and get the fuel bandsaw and maybe get the nibbler, but I don't think I'm going to end up doing any. I was going to buy the nibbler ahead of time thinking I might do metal siding on my building, and I'm not looking to do it anytime soon just because the weather is completely nasty and I don't even want to get stuff here. So I'm still going to do my building, but I'm probably going to wait till it gets warmer. But I don't think I'm going to do metal siding because I started to be like, well, I'm going to go ahead and buy that nibbler now. So I'll have it and then I'll just use it as the buy more, save more. But the way the buy more, save more is this time, it doesn't matter if you buy expensive tools, you still only save that same amount. So you're better off to buy every tool individually that you want and put 2 really cheap things with it, and then return those 2 cheap things. So even if you wanted a, bandsaw, a SDS drill, and something else like a PEX adapter or a PEX tool or something like that, you'd be better off to buy a PEX tool, put 2 impacts in your cart, return the 2 impacts, buy a bandsaw, put 2 impacts in your cart, return the 2 impacts, instead of buying all 3 of those, because you're only going to get $200 off the total with those being more expensive. So it's a little bit different. Buy more, save more. I've never seen them really do it that way. It's always been spend X amount and you just get certain amounts. So it doesn't matter what combination of tools you buy. So it kind of is a little bit different this time. And I did mine the same as what Matt just said. He said he ordered his from one store pickup, then ordered 2 impacts from another store and canceled them. And that's what I ended up doing too. It worked out. Groove Rubin, will you please hurry up? I don't know what I'm needing to hurry up about. I've had a couple troll comments already since the troll video. I had one of them the other day that told me that I was talking way too fast, which in the beginning of my channel, I was talking way too slow. And now I probably do talk too fast, but I've tried to speed it up so that I'm not talking so slow. But he said, you talk too slow. You need to learn how short and to the point is the way to go. And then he was complaining about me not saying something in it. I thought, well, you can't have both. It's like, it's either short and to the point, or I got to add all these things into it. He was kind of contradicting himself. Did you decide which infrared bag you're going to grab? I'm more leaning towards the backpack version, but I don't know. I'm still not 100% decided on it, but I'm more leaning towards is it the MCP and not the MCTP? Yeah, I'm more leaning towards the MCP. The only way that I probably won't go MCP is if I so happen to get on there and it's sold out and the other one's sitting there. And I'll probably go ahead and order it so that it doesn't sell out too. Get to the page where they're at. But I don't think the size is really drastically different. And the way the straps looked on the back, I saw a couple of videos of like Adrian and Cooler McCrouse and HVAC guy Curtis and them's down there. And they had a few videos where they were at the Veto booth walking around. So it wasn't great detail on it or anything, but it gave you at least a little glimpse into it. But the dimensions on it aren't much different either. I don't know why I can't find that page. I think it was right there. Yeah. Because the Tech Pack MCP is 17 inches tall, so it's 3 inches taller. That's the biggest difference. The other two are like half-inch difference. And then the weight, though, is one big thing. Like the MCTP, like the MCT with the pouches is 8.6 pounds empty, and the MCP is 10.5 pounds, but it's a little bit bigger bag. So I wish that the backpack straps were removable, because again, I'm not going to use mine as a backpack probably 90% of the time, but prices are up on new Veto bags now. Yeah, it's going to be I think it's almost $100 difference between the MC and the MCT version of the infrared. Like I think it's like I don't remember, 339 and 239 or something like that, or somewhere around in there. Tech Pack Blackout's about 7 pounds empty. Glad I got all my Veto bags, Russ and Rock and O. The new rolling bag has removable straps. Yeah, I saw that on that video too. TPXXL is 7 pounds. I like the look of the TPXXL, like the infrared version of it too. It's pretty nice. But I don't know if I think I would maybe like that better than the MB5B, just because the MB5B wasn't big enough for me to hold the tools that I would want to hold in it for it to be my one bag. And it's kind of like too big to be a small bag, but too small to be a big bag, if that makes sense. But like I said, if you had a specific purpose that you wanted to use it for, it'd be phenomenal. It just wasn't a good fit for me for what I do. Have you got the new Klein 14-in-1, I think? I don't think so. Not if there's something new. I don't guess I've seen it. Might want to wait a month, see reviews before you spend a ton of money. Oh no. It'd be the day the spring promotion hits, there'll be an order coming my way with something in it. I usually get up that morning and order it right as soon as it starts. If I thought the TPX XL could be a big bag for me tool holding, that it would do, but it's too small. I did that last year, Wacky said. Yeah, I ordered pretty much soon as the spring thing started last year. I ordered the MB5B because it was sold out before the spring promotion, and then it sold out during the spring promotion. So sometimes that's the only thing I'd be worried about waiting, because sometimes they'll still end up getting them, but then it's like, well, what if they don't get them back in stock until after the spring promotion's over? You know, that kind of stuff. Like 1201, I was on there. That's exactly what I did last time. Yeah. Yeah, part of me, I want to get the MC, like the backpack version, but I also, again, I like how the MCT is just, flat on both sides, because again, I don't use a backpack that often, but there would be times where, like, if I've got to carry my little ladder in, and then maybe also an organizer with electrical stuff or something, there's times where it'd be nice to be like, well, I'm just going to throw my tool bag on my back, that kind of stuff. But I also use my pouches probably nowadays more than I even use uh, my tool bags for the most part. I can't, 9 times out of 10, I just put my MP2X and my vest on, and then I get my tool bag out if, it's a bigger job or whatever it is. New Klein 14-in-1 has nut drivers and bit drivers. Nut drivers with bit drivers. Let me see if I can look it up and see what. Did you see it on the Klein website, or where'd you see it at? Klein 14-in-1. It's probably one of those where if I don't have the model number, you're never going to find it, because they got so many other things that are 14-in-1s and all that stuff. All I'm finding is Morgan's maintenance videos. Yeah, the only one I've seen 14-in-1 is HVAC. So see if you can find a part number on it. You saw it on YouTube. Holstry's coming out with a new pouch. Yeah. The I'll go ahead and give you a spoiler. I'm not going to review it yet because I'm actually going to do a review. But Holstry does have a new pouch. I'll just give you that as a spoiler. I don't want to talk about it because I'll do a review of it eventually. I just got it. Oh, Timinator said he's got it, but I can't. But he can't show it yet. Well, maybe I wasn't. Maybe I wasn't supposed to. So y'all didn't see that. No, they didn't. They didn't say I couldn't show it. So as far as I know. My red vessel Galaxy screwdrivers came in today. Thanks to you, Ben Riley said. This is my first pair of vessels. Waiting for my Galaxy Electric to come in next. Yeah, I'll be doing a tool haul video, but yeah, I ended up getting the red version of that as well. I got to make myself a little piece to stick down in there. And then somebody in here kept telling me to get the Weehaw Mac Store bits. I don't remember who it was. I'd have to look it up. I've got it saved on my emails, but I got some of those to try out too. 32517 HD. That might be. I think that might be that one. that this one? Yeah. Yeah, I've got a video for that one. 32517 HD. That's the one with that different style nut driver up here on this end. I was thinking that was that part number, yeah. Some way said I didn't see nothing. I wasn't told I wasn't supposed to show anything, so as far as I know, it's all right. But you didn't see it if anybody asked. Ordered one of the Vessel speed handles. Yeah, I think it's pretty nice. Again, it does a lot more than I expected it to. Like I saw it a while back. I kept searching around for the Vessel Galaxy Red, and this was something that came up, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I thought it just had a socket end on this end and a socket end on that end. I didn't really read into it. I didn't read the description of it. I was just looking at the picture, and then I think I saw, uh, maybe it was Jersey Discount Tool Company had a video for it, and he was showing it. And then when I saw what all it did, I was like, well, that's kind of interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and get that. And then Matt had sent it to me in an email at some point too. But even whenever he sent it to me in an email, I didn't really dig into it and look at it because I was like, I'd already seen that. It's just an L handle that takes sockets. So I think it's pretty useful. I bought the set only because the shipping for me, and again, that's probably different, depends on where you live and type stuff, but the shipping for me for just the handle was like a month out or something like that. So I just decided I'm gonna go ahead and get some Vessel sockets and stuff like that. Trying to choose my first Veto bag. I think I'm going with the Tech MCT Blackout. What are your thoughts on it? Quiet Vibes 07. As far as up until today, or up until this new spring promo, up until the infrared bags and all that kind of stuff, that's been my favorite. Like, if I tell everybody all the time, like, because I've got a lot of Veto bags, but if somebody said you got to get rid of all of them but one, and you can only keep one, that's the one that I would keep out of the ones that I've got, because it's the most. It's kind of like the Goldilocks bag for me. It's big enough to carry like everything that I would probably normally need if I really pay attention to what I'm putting in there. But then it's also not so big that it can be crazy, super heavy. Like, you can't really make it like abnormally heavy. I mean, you can still make it heavy, but it's not just so heavy that you don't even want to carry it around type thing. And I just like the look of it. And the MCT Blackout is worth the extra money, in my opinion, to just the MCT. I had the MCT before I bought the MCT Blackout, but having those little extra pouches and stuff in there, that's really nice. But I am looking forward to having the meter pouches on the side, but I'm also a little curious if that might make the bag a little bit too wide. You know, it's nice to have that extra storage, but it might make it to where it feels like it's really too big of a bag for all I know. So I don't really know until you get your hands on it type thing. I wish I'd have went down there to the Orlando thing now if I'd have known I was going to be able to see them in person. But yeah, the Tech MCT Blackout's a really, really good bag in my opinion. 32304 is the one I see that's 14-in-1. They've got several they've got 14-in-1 adjustable. That was out a long time ago. Then they got the 14-in-1 HVAC that has a flip socket on the end and then has, the Schrader in the inside of it. Might as well go infrared if you're going MCT. That's what I was saying. I mean, to me, to have those extra meter pouches on the side would be super nice. And you can even get, like, they sell the things for the MB5B that go in those side pouches that you can put tools and stuff in them, which they got pockets in them already, but you can put like one of those magnetic holster type things in there. But I can't really say that I would 100% go infrared over that because I don't have it and I don't know. It might make the bag, be too big, but it would be super nice to have those meter pouches because then it frees up all that space for something else inside your bag to be able to put your meters and whatever else, maybe a, thermal imaging camera or whatever else that you want to put in there. Wait, they were in Orlando. Can anybody go? I don't know about because it was like the refrigeration event. Like, I went to the builder shows and stuff in Orlando, and I mean, you basically have to just buy tickets. I don't think they really have requirements. Now, I don't know about like for an HVAC specialty one or anything like that. But like for the builder shows, you just basically, as long as you pay your money and do all that, like, you don't have to prove that you're a business or anything like that. So I don't know if it's any different for a specialty. Like that one was all for like HVAC and refrigeration and all that kind of stuff. But mostly to me, I think all that means is most of the products and the vendors and those kind of things are going to kind of be geared more towards uh, that field and not so like builder shows that I went to before. You'll see everything from HVAC type stuff to because it's basically for general contractors. So people who oversee all of it. So you've got from building the house to any kind of trade that's inside the house to all the products inside and outside of a house, flooring, siding, all that kind of stuff, tools. It's really fun. They're really nice to go to. Like if you've never been to one, it's definitely worth going to one. They kind of swap back and forth. It's usually sometimes it's in Orlando and then sometimes it's in Las Vegas. The side pouches for meter will keep several large tools out of the center, like a meter and maybe electric screwdriver, making more space in the center. Yeah. And then also just even like a small pocket like that on the side, like if you put even like if you use one for your meter and then use one for the tools that you grab the most, just so you just open that up instead of having to open up your whole bag every time because maybe you've got it in your truck, you know, or your van or whatever to where you can get to this side and you can just open this up and grab out your, main tools, whatever it is. Again, I hope I'm on the video, I guess. I don't know. So that's how I'm envisioning it being nice. Matt said none of the videos showed the bag that me and TPG wanted to see. Yeah, they're both wanting that SPMC. MB5B side pockets are only good for about 2 screwdrivers if you want the sides to close. Wacky said. Yeah, I kept playing with mine. And again, I'm not saying it isn't a good bag, like, because for some, like, every bag's good for certain people. Like, it won't work for some people and it will work for some people. It just wasn't, I couldn't work my tools in it in a way that I wasn't going to have to carry another bag of the same type size. And that's what I was kind of getting away from because you don't have in an MB5B, you don't have 2 sides like what you've got with an MCT to stick tools in 2 sides. You just have that one side and that's it. So it's kind of like tool capacity of a small bag, but it's a little bit bigger than a small bag. But it's also a backpack. So if you want a small bag that's also a backpack, that's really a pretty good option. $1,200 for the Milwaukee battery operated recovery machine. It doesn't come out to 2026. Yeah, I saw Curtis showing that. That's stupid money for that tool. Yeah, pretty much Milwaukee. If it is a specialty trade tool, they pretty much market that, in my opinion, to companies. Like they don't care about the one guy who's wanting to go buy one of those that just does that work here or there or just as themselves. They're going towards like a company that's got a lot of overhead because that, and then they've got like vans and trucks galore. They get tax, it's tax write off for them to spend $1,500 on a piece of equipment like that, and they just buy 10 of them, but put one on every van. That's who they're selling. That's why all the specialty plumbing tools, all the specialty electrical tools, specialty everything, they got the same motors and stuff in them as any of the other tools that anybody else uses, but they cost that much more because they're a specialty tool. Max Tour. Some way. You're probably the one that was telling me about them. I'd have to look it up to make sure, but I'm almost positive now that you just said that. I think it was you. My buddy actually ordered them. I was telling him that I was like, people keep telling me that these are the bits to get, and he ended up ordering some and gave me these. So he ordered 2 packs. I use one of my pockets on my MB5B for my meter and numbers book, and the other pocket for a spare M12 2.0 battery and M18 3.0. Yeah, if I was somebody who carried a backpack all the time, like, and I got up on roofs and stuff all the time and all that kind of stuff, I'd want an MB5B as my go bag backpack, and then I'd probably still have a big one for if I was doing some kind of crazy job or something like that, because it's a nice small backpack. It just I wasn't going to use it as a backpack enough that it wasn't going to work well for me as a small bag. DeWalt caught up with the Pro Press and other tools. Milo's has had all those DeWalt things on clearance that you put in your impact. It's like a copper tubing cutter, like the M12 one I've got, but it's basically a DeWalt version. And then they've also got like a shear or something like that. And I want to say they had something else. I don't remember what the third thing was, but Milo's has had them on clearance for a while for 99 bucks. They just dropped them down today to 89 bucks. I don't know if they're going to go any lower than that or not, but Milo's doesn't drop power tools a whole lot. It's usually like supplies and stuff like that. That's where you find the good deals. That Milo's is on clearance for that. My Home Depot's been selling uh, exhaust fans for super cheap. Like I got one over there. This one was like, I got this one for 14 bucks. I think it was. Let's see if it's got a tag on it. I don't remember. It ended up ringing up cheaper than whatever the tag said. I think this one said it was on sale for 19 bucks. I got this one for 14 bucks. I went ahead and bought it because I'll just, even if I just take the motor out of it to fix somebody else's or whatever, but I change these things out pretty often. And then I got a bigger one up here that was normally 100 bucks. I got it for 50. I got 2 garage door openers the other day. They were in there for, I don't know if I got my pictures are going to be on my phone. They were on there. Their normal price was $329. They had them for 70 bucks. Garage door openers, they're like smart ones with battery backup and all that kind of stuff. I went ahead and bought both of those. I've got those on Facebook Marketplace because if I can buy those for 70, even if I sell them for like 150 a piece, that's half price to somebody, and I'll be doubling my money. And then I can take that money and boom, that's free. So yeah, I even buy stuff at Home Depot clearance, like if it's supplies and stuff that I can just put on Facebook Marketplace and sell it. And then that just becomes more tool money. I'm already driving around town anyway, so I just I've had those garage door openers in the back of my truck since I bought them, just sitting there. And then somebody messaged me one day and asked me if I'll sell them. Let's see. It doesn't show. Guy asks me for those type of tools all the time. Anytime a tool's over $1,500, there are rarely any deals on them. Do you have your own company? If so, what do you do? Yeah, I'm myself. It's Morgan's Maintenance, and I'm a general contractor basically. But I do me and another guy. He's his own business. I'm my own business. I don't have any employees. I just work for myself. But with him, like we do commercial construction remodels, mostly interior finish works for everything from framing to it's finished. We just basically go in and do the whole job. And then also with like we do jobs like right now we're building a quadplex 4 apartment building, and we're subbing it out up until the point once this drywall's finished. We are subbing out the painting, but we'll go in and do all the floors and the baseboard and the window casing and hang all the doors, putting in the porch columns. I think I've got those to where I'm doing those too, the door locks, stuff like that. Just because it's such a big job, we couldn't do all of it ourselves on that anyway. So I do that. So that's the bulk of my time, is that, doing the bigger jobs like that. And then I also do service work, like of anything, like almost like a handyman, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. So I do everything from, like I said, I'm putting up PVC fascia board, attic steps, door locks. I've got a screen door lock. I've got a TV that I'm going to mount and run a plug up from the floor up to behind that. I've got a small bathroom remodel coming up. I'm moving one office to another one. So I'm a moving man. Basically, somebody can call me and I can come to their house, and instead of them calling 3 different people, they can just call me, and then I come to their house and do whatever their whole jobs are. So I fit those in basically in between my bigger jobs. You got the new one. I felt like that would be great for TapCons. Yeah, the other one's really good for TapCons too. Like I said, you can't beat the size of it that's crazy small, and it's way better than any hammer drill. Like if you got an M18 hammer drill or whatever else, it's night and day to use a rotary hammer. And again, the biggest thing, I like that this has the chisel feature, but it's this right here just to be able to put that on my ladder or whatever else. Because again, 9 times out of 10, I'm up on a ladder putting Tapcons in something, and then I need to bring this down and swap over to my impact or whatever, and this just gives me something to hang it on. So I really like that. Uh, I was wanting it, but I wasn't going to pay the 229 for it. Because I've got a tool that does it, and just I couldn't make myself pay 229 because the M18 one was basically right around that same price with a forged battery with it several times on deal of the day, and I was just like, I'm to get the chisel feature, I'd just soon go ahead and buy an M18 one, but to get that belt hook and to upgrade, and like I said, me to get that for $138, I'll probably sell my old one at some point in time. I might wait until in case I make a video. I might save it in case I make a video so I can kind of compare the two. But I'll sell it, and then that'll pay for the bulk of that one, even if not all of it. Ben Riley, what's your go-to multimeter? I use my Fluke 324 or I use my Fluke T6 1000 Pro, but Fluke's all I've ever used, and it's not, and it's mostly because I've had good success with them. I've never had any problems with them, so I just keep buying them. But I've never even tried a field piece or anything like that, so I'm sure they're pretty good too. I love stupid stuff, the work that isn't rocket science but pays well. I just like doing different stuff all the time. That's the main thing I like. So, like, you know, I'll be, like I said, I did metal stud framing the last couple days, and then now I'll be swapping over and doing drywall, and then I'll be going and putting up fascia stuff on the block building outside. I've got all kinds of just weird stuff, but it's just something different all the time. The only downside to doing stuff like that, it's like it's interesting to me to do something different all the time, but then you have to have a lot of tools to be able to, like, if I was only in like one specialty, for one, it would make my life easier for the amount of stuff that I'd have to own, because I wouldn't have to have a lot of the tools that I have. But it just would get boring to me, I think. I'm pretty sure. It's like I get comments all the time on my top 7, bottom 3 M12. It's probably my most viewed video, I guess, and it's been from a long time ago. And a lot of those M12 tools in there were newer at the time because I had just gotten into Milwaukee. But somebody made a comment, again, another troll comment, saying there's no way you use all those tools, and why would you even need all those tools? You just like buying tools, blah blah blah. I don't even know how it was exactly worded, but it's like, no, I don't need all those tools every day, but I use a lot of different tools all the time because I do a lot of different stuff. I'm not like a person who just does one thing. And again, some people just can't get it through their heads that not everybody in construction, even if you're in the same field as somebody, if you're an electrician, there's another electrician out there that does something completely different than you, even though he's an electrician, or a plumber that does, because they're in a different section. There's a lot of different categories within an electrician, within a plumber, within all those things, because like residential and commercial, completely different set of tools. All those things are just completely different. Like new construction versus remodeling, completely different set of how you go about doing your work. It's just totally different. But there's so many people out there that just don't get that. What's up, Jeremy? Matt bought the Milwaukee expansion tool. I could have rented it for $50 a day, so we'll finish the product and then sell it. Yeah, the PEX expansion stuff in my area has not really gotten all that. Like most of the time, if I go into a house, it's got the other PEX, like the crimp ring style. And I can never remember if it's A or B or. Uh, so the expandable kind has not gotten real big in my area, but now Home Depot and Lowe's and stuff are selling both types of PEX in my area, so it might become more prevalent. But I've never even went into a house yet, me personally, to do any kind of work that's had the expandable PEX, like fittings and all that kind of stuff. It's always been the crimp. You had cleaning wipes, I think, in a video, and I can't find it. What are you using? So for cleaning tools, I use Houdini. But cleaning wipes wise, these crocodile wipes, and these are actually on sale at Home Depot right now for like 14 bucks. Like these are really good wet wipes. And I've gotten to where now I wipe my tools down with these and then I hit them with Houdini instead of just spraying the fire out of this. But this is the power scrub, but even the original ones are good. But they've got these on sale at the Home Depot. They're normally like 18 bucks. I think they're on sale for $14 or something right now, or they were at mine. But these are the ones I've been keeping in my truck the most. I like those the most. I bought these. I saw these on like it was somebody over in the UK had a video, and they clean off stuff fairly well, but they're not very wet. Like they dry out. Like those right there, you can even leave the lid off of them, and the little flap open, and they still stay wet. I don't like these as well. They do a good job cleaning, but they just don't stay. They're not very wet. Let's see. Historic houses, we have to document our work so we don't have any of don't annoy the historical society. Had to hammer in trim nails, no screws allowed. Yeah, it's crazy. Knock my microphone off. I don't know if I'll find it. I see it. Make sure y'all can still hear me. What's up, Eddie? Service and new construction have different tools they use. Well, and then also more so just the way you go about working. It's like people will look at you and be like, "Oh, you're too clean. Like all your tools are clean and all your, all this other your clothes and everything else." It's like, yeah, but I'm going into a finished house. I'm not going onto a job site, which right now I've been going on both. But whenever you're going onto a job site that's mud from the time you get out of your truck until the time you get into the building, and then the weather, and then like the subfloors had mud tracked all over it, and you're never seeing a customer. You're just there working, and you're going to leave at the end of the day, go home, and it doesn't matter how dirty you get because you're not going to somebody's finished house after you leave. There's a different way of working for different people. Like not everybody is going to an unfinished house and working in rough construction and all that kind of stuff. The local supply house won't even sell the crimp ring. It's only at Lowe's and Menards. Yeah, and see, I haven't went to my plumbing supply house for a while because I don't do a lot of I don't do a ton of plumbing. Like do a ton of plumbing, like fixtures and stuff like that, but I don't do a lot of plumbing, like running the pipes and all that kind of stuff. Every now and then, like if I'm doing a repair, that's about it. Um, so I haven't been to supply house for a plumbing supply house for quite a while. I go to electrical supply houses pretty often, and every now and then HVAC for capacitors and stuff like that. But I'm not sure if my local supply plumbing places have been carrying more of the crimp stuff or the more of the expanding stuff. Will those help prevent rust on hand tools? No, those will just clean it because it's basically just like a wet wipe. So the same thing that you clean your other stuff with. Uh, this, I don't have rust on my tools using Houdini, but again, I tell people all the time, I clean mine a lot with this. So I'm constantly applying it. I have no idea how long it lasts. Like if you do it and then, don't do it very often and you get your tools wet and you don't clean it and all that kind of stuff. Again, if you're not a real clean person as far as with your tools very often, like consistently, I'm not sure how much this lubricates and keeps rust prevention and all that. I mean, it does that, but I don't know how often you really need to apply it because I apply it like crazy. The what was that one stuff I got called Strike something or other? I tried it, but I've not really done it long term either to know how well it does. Strike Force or something like that. Let me see what it was called. I don't remember. A lot of people get those ballast style wipes or whatever it is. Strike Hold. Yeah, this cleans, lubricates, and protects. But I don't like the smell of this. This is pretty stout. That's one of the main reasons why I don't even use it. But Ballistol sells wipes, and basically those are for pew pews. And so that's a rust preventative wipe. It's like a lubrication wipe. I know a lot of people use that. Y'all are saying loud and clear. It's good. Means my microphone didn't break. My wife's in here telling Steve something. I don't know where Steve asked anything. Where he must have been pretty far up there. I don't even see Steve. Steve's Woodshop Tour Review said that when does the spring promo start? It's usually March 1st. I missed it, Joey. What did you pay for the M12 rotary Steve's Wood? So it was 138 after the hack. So basically I put the if they put the best deal that you can get on it is 130, but they have to have like, so basically what you do is you get the put the SDS drill in your cart, and then whatever the two cheapest things that are available, you put those in there, because then you'll save $100 on each one, and then you just return or cancel the other two, and then you'll get the discount off of, because it basically splits that $200 discount between those three tools, and you're returning two of them with a discount, but then you're still being able to keep this one with a discount. So I ended up getting it for 138. Again, the cheapest you can get it is 130, but the only way you can get that is if you use, like, they've got an old 3/8 impact for like 119 or something like that, but it's been in and out of stock because basically people are using it to get the deal, and then they're canceling it, and then it comes back in stock. So if you wait around, you can wait till those are in stock, but it's hit or miss on that. Not keeping up with the comments, Miss Maintenance said. Well, that's because she's supposed to be out here moderating them for me, but she didn't come out here. Jeff Cole says, if my tools don't look new, then I buy new ones. I get that. I get that, because it's like, it's irritating to me. Like, if I've got all my other tools, I think somebody said that about the Little Debbie snack drawer. They said the only problem with that is once you eat one out of it, your OCD tells you got to go buy another box just to fill that one hole. And I can kind of get that way with, like, if I've got this one tool that's like in really bad shape, it makes me be like, oh, that one looks bad compared to the rest of mine. Crimp ring is fine, but it does put slight restriction and that adds up over a long time. Yeah. Yeah. I can see the advantage of the expansion kind for sure. Like I said, it's just never really gotten. I'm hoping that it does get bigger in my area because I think it's a better product, but I've not seen it like in person in any event that I went into a house to do any work. I've not seen anything but PEX crimp, which we still have a lot of. I went and fixed a guy in a house in the downtown area of my town. It's a super old house. He had the old galvanized original plumbing in his house. I mean, it was still like they bent it and everything, they did pipe bending to get around stuff instead of fittings and stuff like that. And he had a leak, and I just came and capped it off for him. I came and cut the pipe. It went to like his upstairs bathroom, and he wasn't using it. And it was leaking somewhere in the wall. So I just stopped by there as kind of like just to help him out, cut it, and then put a cap in it, and then uh, called the plumber I normally use, and he was going out there to take care of him. But yeah, mostly in my area, it's either old galvanized. Every now and then I run into copper. In commercial, I do run into copper quite a bit, but in homes, it's maybe about 20%. And then a lot of CPVC, which I hate. Like, if I see it, I don't even want to touch it because it's so brittle. Like, I hate touching shutoff valves that are hooked onto CPVC because I'm just afraid I'm going to turn it and it's just going to snap off or something. And then PVC is not real common. And then PEX is what pretty much everything new. That's what PEX has been. Just dropping in for a minute. Hello. Let's see. TPG called me out on rusty tools. I heard Ballistol works well and even works for firearms. Yeah, so that most I've had a lot of people recommend that to me. Again, I've never used it, but I've had a lot of people recommend it to me. I want to say that maybe I even watched a video. Maybe it was an American Electrician or something like that. I think that's what he was using to clean his tools. I see you in here. I know you're in here. What do you like to use for bits? The Milwaukee Shockwave Phillips 2's been getting stuck to screws for me. I've needed to use pliers to get them off. I personally, like, I was just using a Milwaukee number 2 to put in metal stud framing screws the other day, just because that was the bit I pulled out of my little bit holder that I had on my truck, and they were not doing very good at all. And so I chucked it and just put a DeWalt one in. I didn't have these yet. I'm gonna try these. I keep getting these recommended to me. I think it was some way. Uh, I'm gonna try those Max Tour Weehaw bits. A lot of people really like Makita bits. I've never used those myself. I've got so many DeWalt bits in here, and personally, my DeWalt Phillips 2s do pretty good. To be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie about it. They're pretty good. That's what I ended up putting in today. But I've got so many DeWalt bits where I bought sets just to get those cases that I've got DeWalt bits for life. So that's what I use 90% of the time. I just try different stuff now because people recommend it. It makes me curious. But other than that, I've had enough bits to last me my lifetime. Sold out of the super cheap brush tool impact. The impact's now the cheapest. Yeah, the super cheap brushed impact was sold out whenever I first thought about getting it, and then it came back in stock, and then it went back out of stock. Like I said, what it's doing is it's going out of stock as people are using it to hack, and then it's coming back in stock whenever people are canceling their orders. Clint Cole said, I haven't stopped drinking. He hasn't picked up his phone. Yeah, I've been using the iPad. I was hoping that if I used the iPad, it'd be big enough where I wouldn't have to sit here and just be down like this all night, which is very hard for me to read the chat anyways, because it disappears so fast the other way around when the screen's the other way around. But at least then I could catch a few of them. Like while I was sitting here talking, I'd see something pop up type thing. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. The only exception for me are my channel locks. The more used they look, the better they adjust, and the better they bite. Yeah, some tools do need a break in. Like that's like pliers. Most pliers to me, it's like, over time they actually get better for the most part, unless you leave them outside in water or whatever else, something like that. But I mean, just wear and tear stuff, they actually usually get better. So did you physically take the other items back to the store or just cancel them online? So this is the first time I did this, and me and Matt was texting back and forth, and he said he did it this way. So I've always physically done it at the store. Like I'd go in there and I'd buy this tool, and then I'd find the other whatever, and I'd take it up there and buy it, and then I'd just walk right around to customer service and return the 2 tools that I didn't want. Now every Home Depot's different, like, and even every Home Depot, every customer service person's different. Like some of them act like you're taking money out of the back of their pocket, and as I've always said, like if Home Depot has a problem doing this, then it would be very easy for them to fix it. And instead of on their receipt putting, you can return each one of these tools for this much money, all they have to do is say, you have to return all these tools. If they didn't want you doing it, that's why I've always said, as much as they act like they don't want you to, I think that they don't care, or else they wouldn't be doing it. So you can do it that way, but just know when you go to customer service, your customer service person might say, "Oh, you got to return all of it," and then you either got to be a person who don't care to argue, or normally, if that's been the case for me, I'd be like, "Well, fine, I'm just going to return it all. Then I just give it all." Or you can go online and do it that way, and then you can either return some of it and then just take it into the store, and then sometimes they don't notice that as much or whatever, but that's the same situation. You're still going to the store. But this last time, what I did was I ordered this. They had it at my store locally, so I did pick up at my store with this one, and then I ordered the 2 impacts, and I did pick up at a store across in a different town on those 2 things. And then whenever I went as soon as I made the order, it separates those 2 orders, and I just hit cancel the other town order, and it just canceled those and gave me that money back for those two tools. And then this one was there for me to pick up this morning, and my receipt still said that I got the deal on this whenever I picked it up this morning. So I'm assuming that's going to be the case. I won't really 100% know that they didn't change the price or something until I get my statement, I guess. But as far as the receipt that printed out with that tool when I picked it up, it showed that I got it for the discounted price. Working on some coffee grinders. Nice. I use sharp bites to replace my main line coming in and add a shutoff valve when I replace my PRV. Yeah, there's a lot of to do about the sharp bites, and I'm just going to be honest with you. I've not had a problem with a single, and like I've never even went into one that it was leaking. Like I've not seen a problem with any of them. Now, again, I'm not saying that I would use them in every situation. I use caps all the time because I can take them back off. I use them as a temporary fix. The thing I don't like about like shark bite, I don't like the shark bite angle stops and stuff like that because they just spin. I don't like that at all. Like I like compression ones if I'm going to use them because then you can make them, sturdy and all that kind of stuff. I'd prefer to use compression ones even to soldered ones just because it's easier change. Like if you need to change it later, but I mean, I wouldn't use it in hidden places in walls and stuff like that. Probably just because I wouldn't know. But again, I've never seen one leak. So maybe I've never ran into one that was installed incorrectly or anything like that. I don't have a problem with them, but I know everybody else has a big to do with them. Matt said, "Homeowner, sure, go for it, but never in a place where you can't get to it." Yeah, that's kind of how I would look at it. Like if I'm in a basement and all the pipes are exposed, and I've got to cut in something and get it fixed real fast, and they don't want to, it's a ton of water in the lines, and you'd have to try to get all that water out so the steam wouldn't affect you soldering something back or doing whatever and you'd be there for a long time. Or if it's a situation where you'd have to wait for a long time for uh, fire watch or whatever else, and it's just a time thing where the customer says, "I just soon you throw a sharp bite in there." I wouldn't care to do it in a basement where the pipe's going to be exposed like that, where somebody's going to see it all the time. Like they would know if it was dripping and all that kind of stuff. Now I wouldn't ever put one in a wall back in behind like a shower or something like that. Like I wouldn't want to do that. One of our cafes got plumbed in with CPVC new construction. By the time I saw it, was too late, and they were already behind something I'll have to deal with in a year or two. I'm sure. Yeah, I never want to touch it. Like I've went into a few houses and they wanted me to change their faucets even, and I've looked and there's only been one lady where I went ahead and did it for her, and it's because I do a lot of work for her and she's nice and all that kind of stuff. But whenever if I go in and I see them, I'm just like, yeah, I don't work on this kind of plumbing. It's not worth the risk to me of I'm going to make $100 and something dollars to change out something on here, and then, but I'm going to flood your house. Maybe it's not worth it to me. I always think about stuff in that way. And again, I'm not low on work, so it'd be different if I didn't have anything to do or something like that. But it's not worth it to me to take on a job where I'm risking having to file an insurance claim for flooding somebody's house to make $100 to change out something. Makita XPS bits are good. Steve said he's been using Ballistol for years on his shotguns, but I was goose hunting in cold weather one day and the oil got thick and caused the gun to not eject. Killtronic said he uses the Milwaukee Shockwave bits on a daily, not had any trouble. Yeah, I haven't had any break like a lot of people. I've seen a lot of, like, I think it might be Tools and Tactics or it's Tools with So-Als. I never know how to, uh, they don't like them at all. Like they act like they break all the time. I don't have a problem. I'm breaking. That Milwaukee Phillips 2 just wasn't fitting that particular screw very well. I just kept having a hard time with it. And it might have been that that bit was just wore out. Couldn't moderate tonight. Still needed to get a workout in. Make him pay attention to y'all. Got a shower. I'm out. Good night, all. Miss Maintenance is out. I was just getting ready to say what I got her for Valentine's Day. Got Valentine's Day tomorrow. So all you all can say, I ordered you some jewelry, but then these tools showed up in the mail. Somebody got something mixed up. Some way said, do you have a skinny, younger helper? No. Well, the guy who helps me is not younger for sure. He might be skinnier than me. He's shorter than me. The only time I've got a skinny, younger helper is whenever Miss Maintenance is helping me. Are you talking about a certain job? Never mind. I got what you're saying. You're talking about whatever TPG and them's talking about. What brand of drawers are those blue ones built into your work table? I have no idea. My best guess is going to be Uline, like in a Uline catalog, because of where I got them from. It was a factory in their QC lab. We were demoing it out, and it was I had these, and I got these over here as well. You can't see those. They were stacked up double with that. Those over here got a top on them, and they were going to throw them out, so I just brought them home. And that's kind of where they would buy all their stuff from, like either Granger or Uline or something like that most of the time whenever they bought stuff. So my guess would be it's something like that, but I've never found a name on them at all. But I got them for free. I didn't buy them, so that's why I don't know. My house is plumbed with CPVC. Not had any issues dealing with it, but if I was plumbing it today, it would be expansion PEX. Yeah, and there's been some of it's not bad. It's just sometimes it just depends on the house, or maybe it's houses that sit empty for a long time or something. I don't know, but sometimes I've ran into it and it's brittle as all get out. Like, I mean, you can just tell whenever you're touching it, it just is about to just snap in half almost. And I've even taken some out before and it breaks all to pieces whenever you take it out. I just don't like it. And but it's because of how I've seen it the few times where it's not been great. Again, it might not be anything wrong with it. The few times I've ran into it or saw it on jobs where they wanted me to do something, but I've had the experience of that stuff is really finicky sometimes. And again, that's probably 90% of the time it's not, but it's not worth the risk for me to make $100 and flood somebody's house. Where or Vessel electrician here looking to upgrade from Klein, Braden, Reamer. Uh, I'm a Vessel guy as far as screwdrivers. Now, if you're going to buy insulated screwdrivers, the insulated Vessel ball handles are pretty good. They are magnetic a little bit, but the Vera handles are, if you've not tried them, like you want to try them before you buy a bunch of them, because like some people love them, some people hate them. I like them; they fit my hands well. But I'm a Vessel ball grip guy. Like if I'm gonna pick a screwdriver, if I gotta pick one, it's this one. As far as dedicated screwdrivers, now Vessel doesn't have a lot of options where it's not dedicated screwdriver. They got some with bits in the handle and all that, but it's nothing like, it's not a ball handle like this. It's just a regular, almost looks like a old Malco, like a Malco has a screwdriver handle that takes the different bit holding stuff and stuff like that. It's that kind of like a crystal looking handle. I've not tried it because I don't like that kind of handle, but Vera does have some screwdrivers with like bits in the handle and stuff like that if you want that kind of stuff. Not you, Joey. Something. Oh, you're probably saying not me about the skinny helper. CPVC has more issue with movement and UV light. Killtronics is out of here. See you, buddy. Temp temper temperature fluctuation. See, I think that's what happens in the ones that I've been around. I think it's because a lot of times it's in the stuff that's in a crawl space or stuff that sometimes it's even in attics in my area. It just depends on what kind of if it's in slabs and stuff like that. There's places where they did slabs and didn't put the plumbing in the slab and it's up in the attic, and I think that's just crazy. I've ran into that, and it's like that's got to be a disaster just waiting to happen. Clint Cole, changing subject for second recommendation for coffee pod maker. Only thing I'm looking for is hot and bold, larger cups. I just got a Ninja, which I've always had a Keurig and using the pods, but I just bought a Ninja that takes pods, but I've actually swapped over. It also takes like a cone filter and you can put grounds in there. And I've been doing that just because I think I like the taste of coffee better that's not out of the pods, but it is super nice. It's way more convenient to use the pods. I'll just tell you that for sure. But this thing also come with a carafe. So on like a Saturday, like if I'm gonna be home all day, like normally I just make myself cups and whenever I'm leaving, and then I'll buy some at stores throughout the day, and then I'll make myself a cup whenever I get home or whatever. But like on a day where I'm gonna be home all day, I can make a whole pot, and then it. So I bought that. I like it, but it's a little bit. It's nowhere near as easy to use as a Keurig is. Anti DIY HVAC Ted Cook's in here. What's up, buddy? I've seen some cases where some drone tried to use PVC on the hot side or tried to glue CPVC to PVC. Bun is the best coffee. Hot Contreras 21 said, yeah, the old Bun coffee makers. Now, the place where I used to work at, the place I worked for like 20 years doing facilities maintenance, we had the Bun that had, the just the hot plates, and you'd make it into the glass carafe things and you swap them around, if you wanted to. Loved it. Like, loved the coffee that came out of it. Taste was good. Great. Well, then the Bun people swapped it out to like the pump things where you basically fill it up and there's no hot plates really. It just the hot coffee goes into this stainless steel thing. You shut the lid and then you pump your coffee into a cup. And ever since they swapped to that, I was like, this coffee tastes gross. It tastes like metal. That's like I don't really like drinking out of this. I'm a mug person, but I'm out here for a long time. And the Ember mug, I knew I was going to want to drink more than what was going to fit in that. That Ember mug works out pretty good because it does keep it hot. But I think the metal inside of stuff makes coffee taste a little bit weird to me. So I like it better whenever I like a glass carafe with coffee in it. Black Rifle coffee is top tier and veteran owned. Yeah, I've tried a few of those in the last little bit, actually. I haven't drunk a lot of them, but Holler Roast is roasted here in Tennessee by Nicole Sauce. Good stuff. No, has to be a Bun carafe. Yeah, the stainless steel thing, I didn't like it, and it tasted weird from the get go. And I even now I go over there and do work for them now, and I go up there and talk to the employees that are there because I worked there for a long time. So I'll go up front, make myself a cup of coffee, and I'm like, I'll take a sip of it, and I'll be like, oh yeah, there's that. I mean, I still drunk it because it was coffee and it was up there, but it wasn't my favorite. I don't know if Bun makes anything like that works with the pods and all that kind of stuff. I've never looked into it. I don't know if they do or not. That's the thing too. The heat, like certain ones of those, like I like my coffee to be like boiling hot lava, like almost burn. Like I'll even take my coffee sometimes right after it's done and put it in the microwave and make it even hotter because I don't like it at all once it starts getting not hot. So I like it to be super hot at the beginning so that it's still hot by the time I'm done drinking it, type thing. And some of those coffee makers with the pods and stuff, they just don't get stuff very hot. So I had the 3D printed stuff. That guy's name is Tate. So like if you've got anything, like he's got stuff on his website that's just random stuff. But I'd say if you email him like and kind of send him a picture or whatever, if you've got a certain way that you want something done, he's pretty cool dude. Like he's been super nice every time I've talked to him. I think his name's Tate with print 3D inserts and all that. I got all those things, and he was going to give them to me, but I paid him for them. But I mean, it's not very expensive either. It's pretty cheap. PF. That's the PF has the best coffee maker video. Oh, Project Farm. Got my wife a bun, 2 minutes, and coffee is done. So, do they have a pod, Contreras 21? Do you have a pod bun coffee maker that takes the little pods, or is it just? I've never seen one that wasn't like a made a whole thing of coffee at once type thing. Terry said, "Do you have the vessel ball grip interchangeable bit screwdriver, also built-in stubby?" I don't have that one. I've seen it, so it's like this screwdriver here, except for it's got the bit adapter on it. But it's the same principle. It's like the ratcheting ball handle deal. I've got this, and I've got the different heads. Like I've got the slotted, but I never did buy the bit holder, just because even though this one's not super light, like I don't mind the weight of this one. I still like the tang throughs better. This one's way too light. This was the very first vessel that I bought. And whenever I bought this, I was like, yeah, that's kind of like a toy screwdriver. I don't really like it. And then I would have never even bought another one other than I did like the ball part of it. But then I decided I was going to try those tang through ones. And then once I bought this one, I bought it because it would hold any bit I wanted to, which you can buy this one and put flip sockets or whatever else you want to in this one. It comes with a bit, but like you can put a bit holder in this one, make it whatever you want to. So this is a really good. I've got like 3 of these handles. I've got 2 of them in my truck that I keep that I just build whatever I want to. So if you want a particular screwdriver that Vessel doesn't make, like say you want a square number 2, you can get like this one and then put you a square number 2 bit holder or whatever you want to in it and use this one. And that works out really well. But Someway said, Terry, he doesn't use ratchet screwdriver. That's why I don't use this one that much. And I actually don't mind where the ratchet is on this one because I can at least reach it with my hand and change it. But I never think to, I'm not a big ratchet and screwdriver person, so I never even think to use it half the time. And then all this does is end up being something that I bump, and then I got to fix it or do whatever instead of just not using it in the first place. No pods, Contreras 21 said. You need to help convince Ted to get a Veto pouch for his 3 favorite toys. Yeah, all Ted needs is like the what was it, the OC 45 or whatever that is. He doesn't need he just needs 3 tools. Yeah, that's actually very smart of Ted to really do that the way that he works. Like it's how we all really could work. It's just some of us like I like tools too much that I like to carry them around to have them and stuff like that. But ultimately, when it's all said and done, we don't really need that many tools. Like to do a job, you can do a job with very little things. Uh, but yeah, it's always pretty cool to see him go in with just a few tools and get it done. And I do that sometimes. I think I even said that in a video where I changed out a ceiling fan. Like sometimes whenever you're doing something, and again, he's probably that way with going in and working on air conditioning. He's done it his whole life. Like there's very few things he hadn't ran into. So sometimes it's even challenging. Just I'll do it to myself. I'll be like, I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna change out this ceiling fan that I've changed a million of them. I'm gonna do it with these 2 tools today and see how fast I can get it done with just these 2 tools. What's the model number on the vessel? So this gray one here is the 230W, and then what it does is it comes with, I don't remember what bit it comes with, but it'll come with one bit like this, and it slides, in there. It's reversible. I don't remember. I think it comes with a Phillips and a slotted like this, if I remember right. But I'm not 100% sure. I got a bunch of different ones down here. I'm not real sure which one it came with out of the bunch. But like I said, you can take this one and put, a flip socket in it. Anything you want to. It's got 1/4 inch. You can make that screwdriver all you want. But it's the tang through, which I like because I like the weight of it. It's heavier, so it's the same end as these screwdrivers, but you can make it whatever you want to. So like I've got this in my truck with ECX bits in it. That way if I'm carrying my MP pouch and I'm carrying a Phillips slotted, but I want to carry an ECX with me, I'll throw an ECX bit in a bit holder and throw it in this thing, and that'll be my third screwdriver if I'm not using my electric ones. Ted said trip to the truck equals the walk of shame. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the annex with the selector, that's the one. Matt tries to get me to buy that one all the time too. I haven't bought it because again, even if I had it, and it does make sense to me. The annex switch does look like it's in a good spot and all that. I don't use ratcheting screwdrivers that much. Like even if I've got a ratcheting screwdriver that I like, it's like it's not in my brain because I've used just regular screwdrivers for so long. Like, oh, I can turn this on ratcheting screwdriver and use it that way. There's a very few of them, like that very small one. It's in my truck. Uh, it's I do use it but I use it for like towel bars and all that kind of stuff. So I'm already kind of somewhere to where I can just sit there and do this real fast. For whatever reason, I use that one. But there's very few times where I turn the ratcheting function on a ratcheting screwdriver and use it. It will change your world, Joey, and cures cancer. Somebody said. Yeah, I never have gotten the groove of using one. And again, I understand why it would make sense that it's nice. But in all honesty, though, I think that to me, what I do with it now, I don't have my other one in here. This is pretty much taking the place to me of like this is the world's best ratcheting screwdriver right here, in my opinion. Like because then there's no it's not catching because there's not enough tension and all that stuff. This works all the time, and it's just one way's forward, one way's back. So to me, that's what this. I understand that a ratcheting screwdriver will be really good as far as you don't have to do as much wrist motion, and you're not 100% turning. Like you can do stuff maybe a little bit faster. But I don't care what ratcheting screwdriver you got, it ain't beating this. Like it's not going to beat this electric screwdriver right here. So to me, I understand that a ratchet screwdriver is good because this is good. It's kind of a similar thing, but this is better. It always, let's see. What kind of skill trade background do you dispose throughout of your year so far? What kind of skill trade background do you dispose throughout your despise probably. What kind of skilled trade background do you despise throughout your year so far? And is there any other that you would like to learn? So electrical is probably my favorite, but I think it's just because that's what I've done the most. It's what I understand the most. And it's always interesting to me. Again, I'm a puzzle person. And again, electrical is only my favorite in service, like to figure out what's wrong with it. And then also like to run some weird stuff, like to get switches from one, like switches 3 ways with dimmers and stuff like that, to where you got, or 4 ways and stuff like that, where you got to do stuff and figure out all that kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff I like doing, just because it's a puzzle, and it's because I'm more comfortable with it. Just because again, I've done it more than probably anything else. Uh, I'm not a big fan of plumbing. But I don't despise it. It's probably my least favorite of the bunch, and it's only because of like the like if you do something electrically wrong, you know pretty fast that you've done something electrically wrong and you fix it. You know, like something's going to tell you this ain't right. It's not going to work. You do plumbing, and I worry about a water leak for I don't know how much plumbing I've done in my lifetime, and I've really never had like a leak after I've got done working on whatever it was. But it's like it's always in my mind, and it's only because I also do construction work where I go in and repair water damage, and I just see myself after I'm done with plumbing. I'm like, man, I hope like 2 years from now that hadn't been dripping the whole time, and then like you got to go in and gut this whole bathroom and do all that kind of stuff. So that's the only reason why I don't like it. It's like because it's always in my brain that oh you like I'd want to go crawl under like even if I do plumbing at my own house like I'll crawl under my house and check it for a month, like over and over again. Again, never had a problem, but it's always it's not something I would want to take on all the time just because my it always makes me worried. Uh, I would like to do more, learn more HVAC. That's probably the thing I know the least about, and it's only because it's not something I've ever really had to. I know how to do maintenance on them and check them and all those kinds of things, but I don't do other than your furnace inside and the condenser outside in a normal situation. But like working on like to understand it better, I would need to do some studying and stuff like that to understand like certain things about it that I just don't know because I've not had to know it. So I've actually learned more. I think that's why I like watching so many of the HVAC guys like Adrian and Curtis and Ted and all those because it's something that I'm always a curious person and I'm watching them because it's the thing I know the least about. But I still watch everybody else too that's even doing the stuff that I know most stuff about. But I would want to learn more about HVAC, and the one that I don't like the most is probably plumbing. Some guy yesterday had a light that didn't turn on, only worked hot to ground. He tells us the window installers cut the line. Come to find out, he tried to repair the 12-3 and forgot the neutral. Big danger. The biggest danger for people working on electrical that don't know what they're doing is they go by colors. Like it's probably a big danger in any wiring thing because everybody assumes. I can't tell you how many of my buddies call me all the time and say, I'm over here at my house and I've got this switch off and I've got a red wire, a black wire, a white wire, a blue wire, and a whatever else. And they'll just start naming off colors, and I'm just like, that that means nothing, That means what it might be. It means what it probably should be, but that don't mean anything about what it really might is because people use different stuff whenever like a certain electrician might use pink travelers or whatever whenever they're running travelers for three ways or whatever in conduit stuff. Like you can never go by wire color for 100% fact because people do a lot of stuff with them. So you get into that with the neutrals, especially in older houses and stuff like that. 9 times out of 10, you get up in the ceiling box and you'll see a white wire tied in with a black wire. Well, that's because they used it as a switch leg. Well, then somebody later on will go in there to change out a light fixture or do whatever, and they'll just take all the wires loose. And then in their brain, they think when they get done, well, I'm just going to put all the white wires together and I'm going to put all the black wires together because that's what you're supposed to do. And then that's what ends up happening. I had the Vessel 230 and had forgotten about it. I love my electric Vessel. What handheld flashlight do you recommend? My favorite is this one. It's the Olight Arcflex because of that right there. Because it's got the magnet on the bottom, so I can use it as a straight light, but then I can also stick it on a panel or whatever and put that light anywhere I want it and turn it. And the battery life on this one's been super good. I use it. This is the one I carry with me the most. It's in my tool bag most of the time. It just so happened to be in my pocket, but you can clip it on your hat and use it as a headlamp, but it's a little bit long. Like it might bump your head. I always put it on the top of my hat instead of underneath because I have had it down here and then I've hit my head on something that's pressed the flashlight up against my head. But I really like this one. It's been really good. But other than this one, I mean, most of the old lights I've had have been really good. I do have a Woobin that I use as mostly a headlamp, though. I don't really like it for a flashlight. It does a similar thing, but it's not. It's not to me. It's not as good a light as this one. A lot of the HVAC techs I've hired out are willing to talk tech with me for a good amount of time. The only thing I think I'll have to pass on is gauging up, but it would be something I'd like to learn. Yeah, that's typically see, and also in my area, another reason why I've never really delved into HVAC is because most of the supply houses, like I can go into any electrical supply house or whatever and buy whatever I want to. There's very few HVAC supply houses in my area where if you don't have a HVAC like license, you can't even buy anything from them. Like they don't even do sales to the public type thing. Like you can't go in there and buy. You couldn't even go in there and buy a Veto bag if you wanted to. There's one of them that will let you, and the rest of them won't. I always check for a hot white wire. You never know. The triple test with the meter. Yeah, I run into the neutral to the hot stuff all the time because there's so many where that's what everybody used to do because you just ran all your power was up in the fixture and then they just come out of that fixture with a you know 14.2 or 12.2 Romex and go down with the black and back with the white or down with the white and back with the black, vice versa. But then in your box up there at the light fixture, they've got they have to cross those colors at some point in time. And then people get up in there and just take it apart whenever they're changing out a light fixture and they don't think to themselves, I need to see how this is wired before. I never understand people that do that. They do it all the time on, I've had them do it on their HVAC units, on capacitors. I've had them do it on all kinds of stuff. They just take a part out and rip all the wires off of it and then call you and be like, can you come fix this? I can't figure it out. And I'm like, it'd been a lot pretty nice if you'd have taken a picture of what this was before I got here, but Philip Good just picked up the 2 pack of Irwin tape measures. Thanks for the recommendation. Seems very comparable to Fat Max. Yeah, I've been liking them. I've got an extra one that I bought because I bought a 2 pack of them that I've got in here. I think 16s. I like the 16 ones. I've got the 25 ones too, but they've been really good. I like the blades on them have held up well. I like that you can stick your finger in here. They're not bad at all, and the Noster clip works really well on them too. So I went ahead and bought me an extra one so that whenever my other one kicks the bucket, I'll have it. I've still got an extra 25-foot stud one in here too. I don't use them that much. I won't touch the closed refrigerant loop. I knew better than that even before watching Ted cook. Yeah, so I don't even have the equipment and stuff. Like I've got analog gauges over there that I had bought myself just to be able to stick on something to kind of look at it. But I've even mostly just used them on my vehicles to check the refrigerant in my vehicles. But like I said, I can't go buy the refrigerant anyway, so it doesn't do me any good to know. So I would people like I just basically I will do stuff for people that are already my customer. I'll come look at their unit to see if it's a power issue or a capacitor or if it just needs cleaning or whatever else. And then I tell them, I'll come look at it. It's because 9 times out of 10, whenever you go to if somebody's HVAC's out, like it's not working, not coming on, it's usually an electrical type issue of some sort, whether it's the 24 volt or uh, the higher voltage. It's usually one of those two things, capacitor or something like that. It's not usually a refrigerant issue if it's just not working, but it can be if it's low pressure or something. But so I typically only do like HVAC, like that kind of stuff. And if it or condensate lines clogged or, just general type stuff. And it's only usually for customers who I already have doing other stuff for them. Or if he gets peed, he can throw his tape like a real construction worker. Cups down. Where did the spider stool go? Not like you ever sit down. I've got it still over here. I was gonna put it on Facebook Marketplace. Let's see if it's in. No. I was going to put it on Facebook Marketplace, but and Miss Maintenance comes out here every now and then, so I would want 2 stools. I don't know if it's in the picture now or not. I'm on a delay on my screen, so it takes me a minute to see. It's a shoe rack right now. It is. Yeah, these were on sale for like $30 or something. So I went ahead and, like I said, I just got them just because I can swap them out with the ones, which they do seem like they're probably pretty comfortable, to be honest with you. But they are ugly as all get out. But they're going to be inside my Muddy Buddy, so you're not going to even see those. I normally buy like these canvas type, but whenever it's like it's been raining like crazy and stuff here, so I decided I was going to try some of these leather ones. I normally wear I've got a couple different pairs of Georgia boot leather slip-on type shoes and stuff, but they're really old and they've been hurting my feet for the last few weeks or so. So I decided I'd try some of these Skechers slip-ins because this is my second pair of these slip-ins. I've got a pair that I keep in my truck, and I do like the slip-in version better than the regular kind. What percentage of time do you use Vessel versus Klein? Probably 80% Vessel, 20% Klein, because I use dedicated screwdrivers most of the time. Like I'm not a multi-bit screwdriver unless I carry that inside of my tool bag. Like my MP pouches got dedicated, like Phillips and slotted dedicateds, and then usually my Vessel electric screwdrivers. I've gotten to where that Vessel electric screwdriver gets used more than my M12 Surge probably these days. What city and state are you in? So it's Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's where I work at. It's not really where I live, but that's where I work at. That's my favorite step ins, cheap, and we can replace them. Yeah, these were only like I think they were on sale for $60. My other ones, I always just go through and find the ones that are on sale. But the leather ones, there wasn't very many of those that were on sale. But these were the cheapest ones, and I thought they looked okay. I do like to get I don't like any of them. It's got the white down here because that's going to get nasty in 2 seconds. You're gonna make me have to buy shoes now, LOL. I need new boots too. What's the brand of boots that Tools and Tactics he got was OUX or something like that. They've emailed me a couple times asking me about sending me some boots, but I don't really I don't ever wear steel toes anymore because I had to for so long. Like I said, I spent my first several years of my working life working 14 hour days in factories, having to wear steel toe boots and all that stuff all the time. Like as soon as I had a job where I didn't have to wear them, I'm like, I'm not wearing those again unless I have to. Now every now and then I'll go work in a factory and you have to wear the same type of stuff. But Morgan's in Kentucky near Oak Ridge, and Knoxville, Tennessee. Matt's in Oregon. Wacky said he just retrofitted 3 shoe carnivals. So it's probably been about 6 months ago now. There was I think it's called Fleet Feet or something like that. Is that a shoe store? Fleet Feet. I did some framing and drywall, and put up their shelves to hold their shoes, and did their cash wrap and stuff like that. Me and my buddy did. I think it's called Feet Fleet. I think that was the name of that store. Smoky Pig Barbecue, Jack's Random Stuff. Yep. There's a Smoky Pig Barbecue, and then there's also a Pig Diner. There's a Pig Kentucky that's not too far from Bowling Green. They don't do barbecue, but it's just called Pig Diner. I haven't tried the Vessel yet, but I get close to getting one every time y'all bring it up. I just love my laser tip Vera though. And the nice thing about the Vessels are all their tips are typically, I don't know if all of them are, but for the most part, let's see, I'm sure I got a screw laying around here somewhere. Yeah. See, like most of their tips are, magnetic tips. So the all the stuff stays on those pretty good too. They're not laser tip, but they are at least all usually magnetic tip. So you don't have to do the whole magnetize and, demagnetize and all that kind of stuff. Blame me for the shoes. Maltzby says he loves Keens. I bought one pair of Keens before. I used to wear Georgia boots all the time, like different one. Back whenever I was in the factories and I had to buy steel toe boots, that's the ones I normally bought was Georgia boots. I think I've maybe wore one pair of Red Wings in my life. I know I've tried some Wolverines before. I think I did have a pair of Keens, but most of the time, whenever I bought shoes, they've been Georgia boots as far as that kind of a boot. Show him the Vera ball handles. Yeah, so if you can get a mix. You can get yourself a mix of the two. And I actually do like these. So now that they are available, so you can, if you want the laser tips, you can get Vera ball handle and laser tips. So that's kind of the best of both worlds. I like the tang through. I like the weight of the tang through. But these at the time, before I found these from Vessel, like these, you could only get them on Amazon Japan. It was really expensive to get them, like to pay shipping and all that. But now you can get these on Amazon US now. So they've got this size. Yeah, like so here's slotted. There's a slotted. It's got the laser tip on it. I don't know how close I'm getting to that, but laser tip there. Laser tip there. They've got smaller. They got a Phillips #1. I thought I had them out here, but I don't see them. I don't know what I did with them. Yeah, I stuck them in here. Yeah. Yeah, here's a Phillips 1. I don't remember what all sizes they got. I know I did end up picking up a Phillips #1 and maybe I thought I got a smaller slotted. I think they sell maybe a Phillips 3 too, but they got some different sizes in them. But they've all got laser tips on them and the ball handle. And they're not, I think they might be slightly more expensive than the Vessel still on Amazon US, but they're not crazy more expensive. Gonna have to order those after Valentine's Day. Phillips 3. Yeah, Phillips 3. I think I've got that one too. I think the slotted is the thing that they don't have very many sizes in. Because I don't remember if they've got a Vera 5.5. Like this one's a 6. This one's a 6.0 slotted. But the 5.5 Vera slotted is my favorite size because it grabs like plate screws and all that stuff. Super nice. Like they're really, really good. The 5.5 size. But I don't know if they got that in the ball handle, or if they did, I would have probably bought it, but I don't think they got it. They don't have a 5.5, but the 6 fits. Yeah, I was thinking they didn't have her. I'd have bought it whenever I bought, because I've actually got 2 of the Phillips 1 and the slotted 6s. And then later on, once they were available on Amazon US, I think I bought the 1 and the 3. But I want to say I never did find a 5.5. How often are you checking on a website for deals or tools? And are you a member at Lowe's to get the extra discount? Every day when I wake up, there's certain places that I look for deals of the day and stuff like that. And then I don't get any kind of extra discount. I just get the 5% off at Lowe's. I'm not a member. The whole Lowe's thing, I don't know how, like Home Depot's Pro Rewards, everything I buy, no matter what card I buy, it's linked to my account, and I get gift cards all the time at Home Depot because I spend so much money there. The Lowe's My Rewards, I'm signed up for it. I've linked my cards 15 times. I went in there and done all sorts of things. I even scan my little code whenever I check out, and I still don't have anything credited towards my points at Lowe's. I've never been able to figure it out. But I don't buy that much stuff at Lowe's anyways. But I know that they got some kind of a member thing, because I saw signs like on some of the Klein stuff that says $5 off for members or whatever it is. And the thing I hate about Lowe's now too is another thing that they've done that makes me, it's like I just hate shopping there. It's just a big pain. I ordered these screws because they didn't have them in black in the store, so I had to get these. So I had to order them, ship them to the store, or pay $6 for delivery. So I did ship to the store. So I get there, I go to the thing to pick up my order. Why they didn't put this in the locker, I don't know, but either way, now they've got it to where when you go to pick up an order, you have to scan a barcode on your phone. Well, you click the email to get your barcode. Well, then I go into my Lowe's app. My Lowe's app, probably 7 out of 10 times, every time I open it, makes me sign into it. I never remember what my password is because I don't use it enough. So then I got to go into my password thing that I've got myself set up so I can find the password, put that in, get a text to my phone, put that in, get my password, put that in, and then scan my barcode. Took me like 20 minutes to be able to get these screws. It's like, why can't I just walk up to you and say, here's my order number, like how it is at Home Depot, and you hand me my screws? How you doing? Any type of exercises or just dieting to lose weight or a combination of both? Just dieting. I kind of go on I do intermittent fasting, so I only eat in a certain window, and then I also just try to do normal like food that's made from God and not made from Doritos. But for the most part, that's all I do. I've always said, luckily, I do the kind of work that I do, or else I'd probably weigh I don't know what, because I mean, just working all day long is enough. It's like going to the gym sometimes. So it's me working like I do is probably the only thing that's ever kept me from end up weighing 400 pounds sometimes. Home Depot, you can choose to have them keep it at the desk or in the locker. Yeah, Home Depot's not a big deal. Like ordering stuff there's been great, except for my last order of all these door locks. I've had an ordeal with those, getting them there. I've had to have them reorder them twice, and they just keep getting stuck somewhere. But I mean, I walk right in and I'm out of that store in 2 minutes. Like it never takes any time at all. But Lowe's is something else. Too many peanut butter cream pies. It adds up pretty quick. But I've always the intermittent fasting and kind of low carb ish type thing for the most part. That's kind of what you might would call it, I guess. Uh, that's the two things that work the best for me, and I lose weight fairly fast. And then I can gain it fast if I go back to just eating like I normally do, but I always eat too much. Like whenever if I eat like I normally have most of my life, I've ate enough for two people most of the time whenever I'm eating somewhere. So if I could ever get myself out of the habit of doing that, I would never have to go on a diet. Like I don't, if I just eat like a normal person, I don't get big just because of the work that we do is a physical job. So it's kind of like I said, it's like going to the gym every day. It's a lot of pain for some tools. Sorry to hear that. Do you ever hit a swap meet? I've actually told myself I need to start going to pawn shops more. I keep seeing Last Best Tool go Doc over there go to some pawn shops. I have went to a pawn shop a couple times in my town and looked around. I never really saw much in tools there the few times I went, so that's made me not go. But I probably ought to do that more just to look around. You guys seen the double decker cream pies? I've seen the. Uh, I think I saw oatmeal cream pies like that one time. I even own the monster, the 10-footer that takes pin keys to pry up stuff. Let's see. I don't think I had anything else that I thought about talking about. I was going to tell y'all what my jobs were that I was working on. Do the 3D print stuff to show you those, just in case y'all didn't know there was options for that stuff. I really like this Klein labels. It's going to make it nice, even though right now. So like I said in my truck, I swapped over to, instead of 4 drawers, I've got the 3 drawers, and then I'm leaving that one bay where my other drawer was for stuff like this. Um, this is the only organizer I've got in there right now that's this size. So, uh, but I'm probably gonna do some more of this kind of stuff. It does make it nice because I've got like this kind of stuff. I think I did a video showing you that, where I just took a piece of PEX and, did the label making with the tape, and that works fine, except for, like if you're looking at it from the side, which most of the time I am in the side of my truck, I can't really see that label unless I kind of stick my head around there and look for it, versus this, no matter which side you put it in, that's kind of a better spot for labels right there. So I think that's going to work out better. I don't mind that, but you have to kind of be looking straight on to see that M18 router there. Lowe's blows. That's my opinion of them here in the last little while. If they didn't have the Klein stuff in there, I very rarely went in there. I went in there more in the last year than I probably have in a long time. That and their back aisle clearance, that 75% off stuff. I go in there and look around and find stuff to buy for supplies. Like I said, they usually rarely have tools back there. I used to eat the huge moon pies, but not for years now. It's been a while since I've had a moon pie. I tried carnivore, but it is just too restricted. I felt great on it though, and I was losing some weight. I think this time I'm going to try more of a paleo diet. Yeah, I think if you, again, I'm not a dietitian. I know nothing about other than what's worked for me type thing. I almost kind of feel like, because there's some people who go on, like let's say hypothetically, even a vegan versus a carnivore. I almost think, in my sense, my body is like, I think all people's bodies might be this way, but mine in particular, again, I only know about my own. I think you're really only made to digest like one certain thing at a time. And in our culture, we're like a meat and sides type culture where we're mixing protein and carbs. Like, I don't think there's really anything wrong with eating any of it. I think it's whenever we eat a big mix of both of them, your body can probably only really deal with one of them at a time type thing. So if you eat all protein one time, then all carbs and all that kind of stuff, maybe that's how it works out. Again, I don't know. It's not something I'm a genius at or anything, but I think that's why the low carb works sometimes for some people, because you're kind of, your body's burning, getting the same type of fuel and burning it up, instead of getting two fuels at the same time, burning one fuel and then sticking the other one somewhere else type thing, if that makes sense. Punker Fickle Dude said he loves me. That's why I have to go to Lowe's. I didn't catch the. I would recommend swap meets because pawn shops always sell their items as if they were almost new, and they go based on online prices. I got my Milwaukee Caddy with the steel bar for my new 4-drawer pack out. Really like it. Yeah, it's been working out pretty good for me. I really do like that too. I know Steve's Wood Shop and Tool Reviews got one too. I saw he had a short for it. Somebody just Googled something. Oh, dig bars. Same for me. Home Depot has very little Klein anymore. Yeah, mine's got like a few screwdrivers, probably a set of every kind of pliers my Home Depot does of Klein, but they've really hit it hard with the commercial electric stuff in Milwaukee in my electrical aisle now. Like, Klein's got like maybe 3 pegs from top to bottom, and then commercial electric in Milwaukee's got the rest of it. Lowe's will advertise a tool on sale. When you try to order it, it's unavailable, and then when all the sale ends, they have all kinds. I can't stand Lowe's website. Like, it's the worst by far. Like, or their app, website, however you want to look at it. I can never find anything on there hardly. Like, it takes you so much longer to search and find stuff. Home Depot is occasionally that way with certain things, but it's pretty rare. Like, if I just search, You can even search something what you think it might would be called on Home Depot, and you still got a pretty good chance of finding it. Like Lowe's, if you don't have it, however they exactly whatever they call it, you might as well forget it. You're not finding it. You gonna get the pack out thermos, Joey? Probably not. I drank my coffee fast enough that it doesn't like this size right here. Like I'm sitting here talking more than drinking, or else this would already be empty a long time ago. And I don't drink like that much. Like usually I'll drink the whole way driving to whatever job I'm going to, and then like sometime during the day I might go get me a cup somewhere, and then I drink some at night. But and then during the summertime, I've got that bigger pack out cup, the black one that's bigger than this one, and it holds ice and water pretty much all day long, so it's pretty good. But I don't drink as much during the summertime as what I do in the winter. Commercial electric has strippers that you flip the blade around, and it's a crimper. I was baffled at first time I saw it. I also saw they've got a pair of strippers that it's almost like the Racketeers version with the sheathing ripper added to it type thing. Commercial Electric has a pair of strippers with a little. It's got a little yellow square with a sheathing like ripper on the side where you can take the strippers down the side and do it with it. They were only like $14. I almost thought about buying them to try it. About the only thing I can digest now at 62 are single ingredient foods, nothing in a box, no gluten, no preservatives. Pretty restrictive. It feels a lot better. Been doing this for several years. Yeah, like I said, that's what I think. I think over the course of time in America, at least in our society, we've gotten to where we just you go eat and you eat so many variety of things since we have so much stuff available to us, and your body I think can only really do like a thing or so at a time type thing. So the more stuff you do, again, I'm not saying that as if that's a fact. I'm just saying I've noticed what's worked for me. If I kind of pick one thing and don't eat like a meat and a bunch of sides or whatever, and just eat meat. And then if you wanted to eat whatever else, if you eat just that, it's like your body can digest whatever that is. TPG said, I don't think I have any commercial electric tools. I've still got that. I've still got that kit that I got for $30 or whatever it is. That's the only ones I think that I've got. I don't even, that might be the only commercial electric tools I've ever bought too, is that set that I bought not too long ago that was on clearance at Home Depot. Cause the one tool that I thought was commercial electric that I had, I think it's actually a Greenlee and not commercial electric. Cause I had a big pair of cable cutters somewhere. I don't think I got them in here though. But they were green handled, and in my mind, I thought they were commercial electric, but I think they were actually Greenlee. Yeah, I think they're. I think I've got them somewhere else. PB Swiss has a hand hammer that's been useful lately. It's just a metal cylinder with a shot in it. I don't think I'll do a live on Saturday morning, which I haven't for a while anyways, but I think Saturday we're supposed to get like torrential rain or something or other here is what they said, like maybe even up to 4 inches or something like that. So if it's raining like that, I definitely wouldn't be able to do something out here. It gets loud enough as it is. So I probably won't. I actually was kind of wanting to do a live Saturday morning because I hadn't done one for a while. And, like I said, I sometimes do one early on Saturday just because people in the UK and stuff like that, it's a different time zone type thing. But I think we're supposed to get a ton of rain Saturday, last I checked, and then maybe supposed to turn into snow on Sunday. It's gotten down to it's 46 in here, but it's supposed to get down like 17 tonight here. So I probably won't do a live Saturday. I did film the guest of trade today. I still had an issue with I moved the photos over into my iPad instead of doing it through OneDrive, and it was still messing up. I think it's something to do with I don't know if I want to say it's something in, well, no, it's not that either. I was going to say, I think it's something in iMovie, but actually I played the photo of my screen recording and it was doing it before I even put it into iMovie because I did check that. So I still don't know what's going on with that. But this one didn't seem to do it as bad as what it's done in the past. But basically, every time I'm scrolling over to the next picture, or if I zoom in sometimes, or even just not even doing anything, it just freezes in my screen recording on that picture, but the audio just keeps going. So then the pictures aren't lining up right and stuff. So I've had to go back and do stuff to work on that. So I'm hoping I can get that figured out. It's been a big pain, but I did get it filmed today. Today's the first day I've had all week with not raining at least some point in time throughout the day. It's been raining like crazy here all week long. It's been like it's not been like raining hard, but it's just been rain every day, all day long, like small amount. So I did finally get that filmed today. So there will be, I guess, a trade Saturday, but I don't think I'll do it live. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. It's been a couple hours, I think. So everybody, don't forget, get your significant other, girlfriend, wife, whatever, husband, if you've got one, something for tomorrow at Valentine's Day. Can't wait to see what I get. She probably forgot it's Valentine's Day. It's the way she treats me. Y'all are talking about hammers. But I'm gonna go ahead and, do you have any electrical ideas to live off the grid so you can save money? No, I don't have any kind of solar stuff, any of that kind of stuff at all. Contreras said, thanks. I've been working in the shop each time you've been live, which is why I've caught you. Nice chatting, y'all. Shouldn't get back to it anyways. Cheers. Yeah. Yeah, I got to get off here, get inside, get cleaned up, get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's my day. Is right now checking on the quadplex, going and buying the drywall and delivering it to the recruiting office. Phase 3, we're not going to be doing any hanging tomorrow, but just going and getting it and having it there so that whenever they've got the electrician doing the electrical work and stuff, so he's got to get all his stuff in the wall before, because that's not my job. Like, I wasn't a GC on it. A GC hired me and my buddy to do certain parts of it. So we're doing all the framing, drywall finishing, trim work, doors, what else? We're supposed to be putting in like in the storage rooms, are putting these like some kind of cubby system type thing in or something like that. We're doing that too at the end of it. So, but we're gonna go ahead and get the drywall and get it put in there so that if we keep having weather like this, because tomorrow during the day we should be clear to be able to buy it that way, to be there, so that if we got rainy days next week, we'll still be able to hang and start finishing. So that's what we're going to do. But I'm going to get off here. Hope everybody has a good rest of your day, good rest of your weekend. And I'll probably see y'all on the live chat on Saturday. And I got to do my long walk around there to hit the end button. So this will be an awkward end where you're going to see silence and me disappearing for a little bit. But y'all have a good one. See you on the next one.